And can you edit it, or is it all just as you see it, as you
No,
hear it?
my podcast producer will edit all of it.
Good.
Yeah, he'll make me sound much better than you.
Yeah, which is fine. And take out all the cars that all of a sudden decided to use this tiny little street as a raceway.
That's insane. Okay, well, we're going to start. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, there you
Uh,
go. Put the
the
AC on.
cars. Well, I put the car side windows or the road side windows up a little, but so I
Okay.
can't take it anymore.
All
But the
right,
whole
perfect.
back's open, so I don't die.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer joke to share with us?
I certainly do.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so hang in there. Episode 63, title Third Generation Entrepreneur. Interview with Dave Bone. Brought to you by Go Legal Yourself, an online business providing legal tools for savvy entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast, episode 63, title Third Generation Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Attorney Kelly Bagler, the Queen of Business Law. You can interact with us on social media and definitely do find us on the web at golegalyourself.com. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Dave Bone. Dave is the CEO of San Diego Flooring Pros. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you, Kelly.
How are you?
Very good. Nice, warm, sunny afternoon.
Isn't it? We are so spoiled, but then again, we pay for it, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do. Well, I'm excited to have you on the show. As the title says, Dave, third generation entrepreneur. Tell me about it.
Well, my grandfather started in the flooring business back in like 1947. So he was installing the original solid nail down, hardwood floors, sanding and finishing on-site type of homes. And then he actually built his own store, and then he moved to the thriving metropolis of Hemet, a small little town, and that's when my dad got involved, and they actually built another store there, and my dad got involved, and then you know roll forward, they had 3 kids, and we all got involved as we grew up. So yeah, we came from some of the flooring that my grandfather would install. My father would come behind and sell and install carpet to put over the hardwood floors, because all the shag carpet was all popular.
Right,
and
right.
and so it was kind of a funny story to then have us come back in, and we actually pulled out some of the carpet and refinished the wood floors. So it was kind of a generational thing there. So that was kind of fun. But
That's absolutely beautiful. Seriously, 3 generations of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs, it's not easy being an entrepreneur. And we're going to get into that, Dave. But first, do you want to share your lawyer joke with us?
oh yes,
I know
just
how much you love lawyers, Dave.
yes, yes, and I've learned that arguing with a lawyer is like wrestling a pig in mud. Sooner or later, you're going to realize that they like arguing.
I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. I like that one. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. Entrepreneurship seriously runs in your blood. Did you ever think of carving your own path and not following it in your father and grandfather's footsteps?
Well, I sort of did that. I started my own installation business when I was working for them, and then I kind of branched out and just started doing my own installation, and basically ran that company. Because they were in Hemet, I didn't want to stay there. I decided to move to San Diego because it's much nicer in San Diego.
Wow. I'm so glad you moved too.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I worked for several stores in San Diego, real high-end stores, artistic floors. When they were in Encinitas, they were kind of the same model. They started in 1957, and so that I kind of gravitated toward that, and really wanted to be closer to the ocean. And they were literally in Encinitas, right in the ocean, or a couple blocks from the ocean. And so that was like 1986, 85, somewhere in there. And so I've been around San Diego for quite a long time, 35 years or something. But
Yes.
I ran the installation company and then just physically couldn't do that any longer. And then I wanted to start working on the sales side of it. And so I worked for a store in Solana Beach for about 9 years. And then when the whole stock market thing and the whole economy crashed in 2008 and everything stopped, I went and did a little financial advisor stint. And then uh,
Interesting.
that was a really tough time to try and become a financial advisor as
Right.
well. No, no, the whole market
Well,
is imploding, the mortgages are imploding, nobody can get money, and
oh
so
boy.
it was a tough time. So um, I I wound up actually going to work for another store and kind of ran that store for another 9 years, and then I just decided that it was time to do my own store and have my own business, and met up with a really good business attorney in 2019. Miss Bagla incorporated me immediately out of the gate for my new business, and couldn't be happier with everything that Miss Bagla has done for me, and getting started and getting everything, all of my documents lined up and all of my ducks in a row, so that it was a smooth transition going out. And with all of my experience, it's been a pretty successful couple of years.
That's fantastic, Dave. The number one thing that any business needs to do, especially when they're starting out, is to make sure that they're starting on a solid legal foundation, right? And that's exactly what you did. But I want to pick your brain a little bit because you've been in that entrepreneurial world for a little while now, and
Mhm.
you've seen both sides of it. You've seen the success side of it, you've seen the hard times of it too. So as an entrepreneur, Dave, what would you say was the most difficult part to starting a business?
For starting out, I mean, if you're not ready to, you know, pound the pavement and put the work in, it didn't just happen, you know, just because I know people. It happened because I put a heck of a lot of work and a lot of time and energy. But I'm pretty organized, so having a professional team, you know, like yourself, and a professional CPA behind me, and a professional marketer behind me, that really made it a lot easier. So working with professionals to have that input and have that guidance really gives you the confidence to know that you're moving forward on the right, you know, track, and keeps you on track. So um, even met with Kathy Nelson, on track success coaching. Just that whole on track was very inviting to me. So keeping everything moving forward, and you know, just having a professional team behind you is very critical, I think.
It's fantastic. I actually had Kathy as a guest on my show too.
Nice.
A very informative episode, and I don't recall it off the top of my head, but my audience they'll have to go back and listen to um, Kathy Nelson, business coach. So what was you literally learned from your grandfather then your father, right? So what were some of the, give me three top valuable lessons you learned from them as far as being an entrepreneur?
I can still remember from my grandfather always telling me, save your money, save your
Yeah,
money. That
that's
was,
number one.
oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh, that was his biggest thing all the time. Make sure you save your money. Make sure you save your money. And then I just saw a program my wife was watching last night, about, you know, these people that were, you know, saving half of their income, and you know, that should be a big part of your goal, is to be financially stable, and don't extend yourself trying to start out on your own. That could be a disaster. So that was one thing. And my dad, just their work ethic. I mean, they were, you know, entrepreneurs because they were hard workers. They didn't want to go and work for someone else. That's like me. I just got tired of being the hardest worker in the building, and working harder on someone else's business than they were, I decided, like, why am I doing this? I need to be working for myself. And I essentially already had an independent business inside the business. So
Right.
it was really due to the ethics and hard work that comes from our family. It's like I said, my grandfather built his store. My dad helped him build the store. My dad dug his own swimming pool. These are not sit around kind of people.
Right.
So my dad's 80. He's going to be 82 in December. He's still working.
Wow. Look at
He's
that.
using the COVID as an excuse to practice retirement. He's like, well, I'm practicing retiring because they've told me to stay home for a little while. It's like, I
Right.
don't really want to, but I'm going to.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so yeah, we're just a hardworking family. I mean, if you don't have that hardworking ethic, then that's it's going to be a little harder for you.
You're absolutely right. Reserves is number one. That should be a number one goal for every entrepreneur, because you're not going to get someone cutting you a paycheck every month, right? That's gone.
Right.
Um, Hard working is what people gravitate towards. You provide a quality service and they're going to come back over and over again. And there really isn't much difference between the price. Um, if you ask anyone, and I'm sure your clients feel exactly the same, if you provide them with excellent quality and customer service, it doesn't matter if your pricing is higher than Joe down the street. So you've got that down. But what would you say was the third really important lesson you learned as from your grandfather and father as far as being an entrepreneur?
Oh, would be punctual, being on time, and respecting other people's time.
Isn't that a
So
novelty nowadays? Oh my God, Dave.
that's what everybody keeps telling me. They're like, you're the only guy that showed up on time. I go, if I'm late, it's because I'm either sick in bed and can't get out of bed, which happens once every 5 or 6 years.
Right.
And or my car died on me, and I try to keep a fairly nice vehicle so that doesn't happen. So
Right.
I am probably one of the most punctual people in the industry, and that to me just shows that you value and respect other people's time. If someone,
Exactly.
yeah, if I show up to a job and someone is 20 minutes late and I'm waiting for them, A, I will forgive them, but B, it just tells me that they don't respect me. They don't respect
Exactly.
me. They don't respect my time. They're just there to use me.
There's a saying in the military, right? So if you are early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. I try to be 5 minutes early to every appointment.
Exactly. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Now, as far as starting your own business, right? So you finally started your own business from a legal standpoint on a solid foundation. I think going through the process, if you were going to share your story with a brand new entrepreneur who had an idea, they wanted to go out and become their own boss and they had a business, what would you advise them to do?
Have experience in that business. I don't know anything about going and starting something from scratch that I don't know anything about. I tried that with the financial services and I wasn't very good at it. I knew the numbers, I knew the business, I passed the Series 7 test super, it was easy for me, and it's a 6-hour test. So the um the uh excuse me,
It's okay.
I would
John's
say,
going to cut this part out so you can
okay,
start
good.
again.
The bike showed up. It's like the same kids. Like, come on, please.
John will cut
got,
his part out. He's
got a little
good.
distracted. All right, go with the question again. I was doing pretty good up until that. It was like, oh
You
my God,
were.
it's the same kids.
Are you sure you're not driving an ice cream van?
Well, we're stopped right here. Yeah, there's another ice cream sign on the
How
side.
funny. Okay, so question. Dave, if a brand new entrepreneur was going to go out and start their own business, what advice would you give them?
Okay, on that one, I would say having experience and having confidence and knowing what you're doing. When I went to the financial advising business and tried to switch careers mid-career, midstream, um, it was a little difficult because I didn't have the experience in that industry. So that turned out to be daunting for me, and it wasn't something that I could overcome. So I basically fell back on what I know and what I'm really good at. And so knowing what you're doing and being really good at it, and and trying to differentiate yourself from everyone else is the key.
Right.
And so I was able to transition my own business, essentially carry forward what I was doing, but starting it new, and and as a new entity, and develop my own clientele has been very rewarding, because it translates the experience, and as you said, the quality in what we provide is pretty unique in the industry.
As far as doing it all over again, Dave, if you had to do it all over again, what would you change?
Well, I would have done it much earlier. I would have
Gone
changed
out
them.
on your own?
Oh yeah, I would have done that. Like, why didn't I do this much earlier? Because it's much more rewarding building a business for yourself in your own name, and you're the CEO, and you know that's that's a, an important title. My wife saw my newsletter and saw me as the CEO, and she says, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That,
Yes, exactly.
so
Exactly.
that can give you a bit of confidence that you may need, that you're not going to get working for someone else.
Especially in some trying times, right? So we're actually doing this interview while the global pandemic is going on, right? COVID-19. And I know that many of my clients, their businesses have been affected drastically. And the ones that are incorporated, they actually are able to get stimulus packages. Now, as opposed to the ones that haven't incorporated, I know some solo entrepreneurs that haven't incorporated, and they truly are hurting. They might even have to file for bankruptcy because they're not going to get the stimulus package. It's only offered for businesses, incorporated businesses, or they'll have to wait and get maybe a stipend of it. So I've seen, the good side of incorporating and the bad side of not incorporating. This is prime example what's going on right now. Um, would your advice be, obviously as an attorney, my advice would be to anyone who is in business, make sure you incorporate, right? So you had the experience, you've had, you're the third generation in doing the same trade, if you will. People know you in San Diego. They would have bought flooring from you regardless of whether you were incorporated or not. But what was what actually made you incorporate before you went out and got business and started business and restarted your company?
Well, one was the education I got from you, and the value in what your service provides, and getting an education on that, and then having that, you know covering your assets and your family is truly important. I mean, I'm not a young kid. I have a couple assets. So if you don't have those assets protected, you're going to be just hanging yourself out to the wind. So that's not a good thing. There's too many bad people out there that want to take your money. But the SBA, it was almost an automatic loan. You're incorporated. Here's your business. Um, here's your money. Here's how much we'll give you.
Yeah.
All I had to do was sign. Thankfully for us, we've been an essential business, and I have many resources. And we've had several people that I do work for that have had flood issues that become more essential, and they've had places to stay in there. One had a motor home they could stay in, and we were able to work in their home the whole time. So we've been fortunate enough to be fairly steady as an essential business. So we haven't really had to take advantage of that, even though they keep calling me to take the money.
Take the money,
Take the
Dave,
money
take the money.
before it runs out.
As your attorney, I'm telling you to take the money.
Right? Yeah. So I think I'll take the money.
There you go. There you go. And one other question that I know my audience is really interested in, Dave, is we've spoken about, some of the successes. We've spoken about why you felt the need to incorporate to protect your personal assets and your family. But what about some of the challenges? What's been one of the hardest challenges for you as an entrepreneur?
Just running the company myself. So I'm literally a solopreneur. I try and, because I have a pretty sophisticated software, it allows me to do everything. It allows me to keep everything organized and keep everything together and in one system, from my initial contact leads to all the way through to their purchase orders for everything for a job is all integrated in with the bookkeeping, bank reconciliation. The whole entire thing is all within one system. So I highly recommend getting set up on that. And that was the biggest challenge, was to learn that system. So
Right.
getting that system in place the first couple of months and was pretty grueling, pretty arduous. But once I got through it, the support with that company, and find somebody with a really good support staff, and it makes it a lot easier. But that was my biggest challenge. But now that it's set up, it allows me to literally run the whole entire operation myself. I have a really good CPA, but the rest of it I pretty much do myself and track everything myself. And it keeps me in the loop and on the pulse of everything that is going in my business. I know every single detail. That for me is satisfying, that I know what's going on. I know where every dime is. I know where every customer is in the process. And for me, that provides a great value for my customers, in that I'm on the pulse of every single aspect of their job. When they go to a bigger store, they'll typically have a separate person for each and every aspect of their job. And to me, that's just too much, just too ripe for errors.
And as a customer of a big box store, you get lost, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
literally get lost. Your orders get lost. No one's accountable. San Diego is a very small community. Everybody literally knows each other. And to have such an incredible reputation that you do in San Diego, that's going to say something for what you do and the service you provide.
Well, yeah, and for me, it's not if a problem comes up, it's when. And when a problem comes up, for me, it's not really a problem. It's how fast can I solve this? It's just the next learning process, and what are we going to do to resolve this? And because I'm not tied to a showroom. I'm literally there either that day or the next day, and we are resolving. Um, I can go into a long story of what I'm working on right now,
Right.
and it you order material and you find out that the company doesn't have the right nosings. I mean, that's going to happen, and so we went back and forth and we went back and forth until I'm finally literally having nosings manufactured to their exact specifications from a company in North Carolina, and they're being made right now as we speak. So
Wow.
a lot of people wouldn't know how to handle it, wouldn't think out of the box, and probably would let that go for a couple of weeks before they even got around to figuring it out. So I've been there pretty much every day this week trying to resolve this and get this thing to where my client is happy, I'm happy, and we have the right product in the end for my customer.
There you go.
So,
So
that's much more hands-on.
if somebody wanted to use you, because the podcast has gone international, Dave, so you have some international people listening to the show. So if they actually wanted to use your services, they would have to move to San Diego, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much, but you never know who might know somebody in San Diego. So, or
There
they're
you
moving to
go.
San Diego at an alarming rate from all over the world. A lot of my business comes, in fact, the couple that we just finished this week, they were from Turkey. So they're engineers from Turkey. She works for Qualcomm and he works for another engineering firm. And then I'm working with the Patels, who are buying a big home in Carmel Valley, and they're from India.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of people in San Diego from basically from all over the world. So a lot of different countries. So um, I'm I'm working with people from all over the world as it is. So you
There
never
you go.
know. You never know who's moving here.
That's
So
fantastic. I have
and
to ask, so if someone, has a mansion in Paris, right, in Paris, and they call you up and they say, Dave, we want you to come over and do our flooring. For the price is right, you'll do it, right?
Oh, I'll come and stay in Paris. I loved Paris. I had a great time in Paris.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a fantastic. I would love to go spend some more time in the wine country of Paris,
Oh, there you go.
France,
There you go.
lower
Yes.
below France. I mean, below Paris in southern France. I would
Yeah.
love to go visit.
There you go. So we're waiting for someone in Paris to give you a call, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I do have to ask you, what's hot right now in the industry as far as flooring goes?
Well, the European white oak, a lot of it grown in France.
There you go.
Yes. So that is the European white oak, wide plank, really light flooring. If we just posted some pictures of her house, the folks from Turkey. We just actually Idan posted some photos of on our Facebook page of their upstairs flooring that we did. It's a real light, real natural looking white oak that is super popular. And then the next product trending really is the vinyl plank, which is the new vinyl plank that looks like wood flooring. It's
Yeah,
7 inches wide. It's 9 inches wide. I think that's what you put in your house while you're looking down at your floor.
yeah, yeah.
So that just gives everything a real clean look for it's a more of a value priced product that it's good with all your dogs and it's easy to take care of. They
I
can
was going to
drool
say,
all over
Dave,
it.
exactly. I was going to say that white European flooring,
Yes,
it would
yes,
not work in my house, not with four dogs.
yes. You have a busy household.
Yes, we do. We do. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
I think we covered quite a bit. I mean, I'm really been set up in kind of a COVID mode before COVID came around. I'm because I don't have a showroom. I've had this business model that is professional, personalized service essentially in your home so that people don't have to go to showrooms. They don't have to go to where there's a lot of other people. I literally come to your place by myself in my truck with sometimes with my dog, and we bring a bunch of samples to your home.
Yeah,
And that I'm wearing the mask, gloves if you want, but um, that model is what I set up on. Fortunately, it was already in place when this happened. I think that's one of the reasons why people are attracted to what I'm doing. I've been doing it for a long time now, so it wasn't anything new for me. And we value and respect. Everybody's at a different level, and we respect and value their job sites, their wishes for masks, and all our guys are masked up on site. So it's something that we were already set up with. So.
fantastic. You are ahead of the times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dave, how can the audience get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest is my cell number, 858-735-4198. Pretty much always on me. I'm very responsive and I'm very proactive in helping people out.
Wonderful. And We are going to include all of your information on our show notes so people can directly download the app from the App Store. When they search Go Legal Yourself, go to the show notes, contact Dave directly, contact me with any questions. I'll be happy to answer those on the air. And remember, the only way you become successful is if you make today the day you go legal yourself. I am Attorney Kelly Bagler, the Queen of Business Law. Thank you so much, Dave, for being our guest today. And until next time, cheers to your success.
Thank you, Kelly.